Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Mr. Ullas Kamath, Joint MD at Jyothy Laboratories, joining in. Welcome to the show, Mr. Kamath, and it's a pleasure to speak to you once again. Uh, last interaction as well, post the first quarter earnings, we had seen that revival which had already started. If you look at this quarter now, how is the overall consumer sentiment? Are you seeing a major improvement? And how far do you think are we uh, going to take to get back to normalcy, taking the numbers into consideration?
I think for the kind of business in which we are, especially FMCG, we are back to normal, and in fact, the numbers speaks for itself, and we are done 8.5% volume growth, and compared to the same period last year, that means we are up by 8.5% when compared to
Mm-hmm.
the pre-COVID levels. So that's the good news. The second one is that we are seeing absolute growth, double digit in dishwash segment and household insecticides and personal care. Again, this is a new normal, and I'm sure that we're going to stay, and it is sustainable. While first quarter was probably the panic buying, and people are not sure when they'll go back for shopping again. I would attribute that partially for first quarter, but in the second quarter, like all the shops are open, people are going for shopping, and consumption is happening as regular. Modern trade in CSD is still a challenge, but otherwise, we as a company have performed all-round performance. You can see through the numbers, whether the top line, the gross margin. So, according to me, it is a new normal, which is good.
Absolutely, a new normal which should be sustainable from here on.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, that CSD canteens, modern trade is yet to pick up. So, are we trying to say right now, at least the trend that we are seeing is that general trade is something which is really picking up because consumers don't really want to travel; they want to buy something from the nearest stores.
Absolutely, you said it right. People are very comfortable to shop from the neighborhood Kirana store where the number of people will be buying at any point. There will be two or three people. But when you go to a modern trade, you'll have plenty of people around you. You don't know unknown people. So that fear is still there. But month on month, modern trade is improving. When you see the first quarter to the second quarter, the numbers are far, far better. But definitely, it is not pre-COVID levels as far as the modern trade in CSD is concerned. To that extent, it is a concern. But as that month on month it is doing better, hopefully the large format stores also will pick up soon.
Right. And overall, Mr. Kamath, we've seen a trend that it's the rural markets that have been really been resilient and they are showing a good pickup versus the urban markets. What is your go-to market strategy with regards to where rural India is concerned? I mean, what is it that you're doing extra to focus on those markets right now?
It is just the distribution reach. We have appointed many more sub-stockists. It's a natural course of reaching the retail market, and the
Mhm.
retail distribution points have, by 25% more, we have retailing at the last mile point. The problem with the rural was when the wholesale market is in containment zone, they are not able to come to the city and pick up the stock, and that's where we went to their doorstep and started delivering it. So our last mile distribution points have increased drastically, so especially in sub-stockist level in rural market, and that's what has got us the business. The second one is the smaller SKUs. Price point. So we have gone to 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 20 rupee packs for our dishwasher, for our insecticides. So the smaller packs is always fascinating for rural market. They pick up as much they want, and the price point is very critical for them. So with our 27 factories, we're able to produce as much as required for rural India and at a small price point, and that is growing absolutely better than the bigger price point.
Right. So when we're talking about deeper penetration with regards to distribution in the rural markets, adding more sub-stockists, does this anyway eat away our margin and increase our distribution costs?
No. In fact, what happens is that once you go to the wholesale market, your margins will be giving a little more there, and
Mm.
but when you go to rural market, your realization will be a little better. But in a long term, it's a direct reach is always gives you a better realization, and it is a cash and carry. There's no credit involved. All our sales in general trade is for cash. So to that extent, realization I would say is more or less the same. Maybe a little bit of operating cost to reach the last mile, but it is a one-time cost. Over a period of time, when you get the volume, that will be taken care of. But good to reach the retailer directly at any point in time.
Right. And with regards to manufacturing, at what capacity utilization are we functioning at all our 27 factories if you take on a blended basis?
Absolutely 100%.
Okay.
Absolutely 100%. Because whatever we are producing now, we are able to sell, and the pipeline stock is less than 2 weeks now. So that means to say that whatever we are producing, we are able to sell in the marketplace. That's good news.
So do you think you will have to look at expansion in terms of a capacity goals, taking into consideration that sanitization, hygiene, these segments in terms of FMCG have really picked up well? Because last couple of years, we've seen that FMCG companies have spent so much in terms of marketing spends with regards, FMCG companies have spent so much in terms of marketing spends with regards to sanitation, hygiene, which never really gave you the results. And
Yeah.
now, post COVID, that's the segment which has actually started picking up without spending that quantum. So, do we see that you will have to add capacities?
In fact, not necessarily, because in FMCG you can always, run one more shift if it is
Hmm.
required, and you can take the production. And we have also started our new factory on July 2nd during COVID time in Pithampur, which can give us a production another 30% more in dishwash segment. Putting up extra lines in FMCG, it's not a big capex in FMCG business as
Hmm.
such. So as and when required, we increase our initially the shift, and thereafter we go for increasing the line. But as you rightly said, that the new hygiene, related with the sanitization, the products are moving faster than before. We really don't know whether it's going to stay. How many of them are going to stay? I'm sure that hand wash will stay, but hand sanitizer as such, we don't know when the fear of COVID goes on, then probably people will go back to hand washing again. So to that extent, we are very cautious, and we are not increasing our capacity. Whatever the
Hmm.
production we are doing, we are able to sell that. And lots of players have come in, and according to me, few strong will stay along with us, and that's what our thinking is as far as new products what you are launched is. Hand wash is something which I'm sure it will stay, but hand sanitizer, only the time will tell whether it becomes a part of the lifestyle of the consumers.
Right. And if we take the first half of FY21 into consideration, we have seen considerable growth. I mean, yes, single digit growth in terms of top line as compared to last year. Margins have almost remained stable. Profits have improved substantially as well. So, are we expecting the second half of FY21 to be better than the first half of FY21?
Looks like that it should be better than first half. And also, if you recall that pre-COVID was, we are going through the slowdown for the entire FMCG industry. And if you see the last 4 quarters, people are all, they used to be very happy, even if the lower single digit is to be very happy. And that's the way how the FMCG business has been for the last 2 years. We are going through the slowdown period. And post-COVID, now we are able to show single digit, and some categories we are already at 22-26% growth. So the second half will be definitely better than the first half for two
Mm.
reasons. March anyway, it was a disturbed quarter, and the December is 2 months away. So to that extent, I'm sure that second half will be definitely better than the first half for all the FMCG companies, including us.
Right. And if we see the different categories as well, fabric care is something which is seeing a decline. Though the other categories like dishwashing, household insecticides, overall has seen an up move. Are you seeing this revenue mix in terms of category change where slowly, steadily, at least because people are working from home, fabric care is something which will still go lower and the other categories with regards to personal care, hygiene, sanitation is something that could be going up?
Yeah, what you said is right. We are seeing, like a little decline in fabric care products as such. That is primarily because people are not going out. They are not using probably the high-end detergent powders like the way they used to use in the past. And post-wash segment has taken a hit. In our case, Ujala has come into the normal business now because it's a part and parcel of daily wash and post-wash. But our Crisp and Shine, which is a post-wash product, which is again might take a couple of months to recover. So the wash segment has taken a hit, and but it is much better than the first quarter, and October has been better than September. September was better than August. So I think another 2 months time we go to the pre-COVID levels as far as the detergents are concerned. Probably last quarter you might see 2-3% growth, but the next year should be a good year for detergents. And also this is that first time in the last 2 years, the detergents we have taken a price cut like any other place in the marketplace. So when you take a price cut of 6-7%, because the crude was all-time low and the raw material price were very soft, so instead of giving the consumer offer, we reduce the price itself. So to that extent, the volume will have grown more. So if 11.7% is a decline in the value terms, in real volume terms, it will have been about 4-5%, which is it's good to be. No major worries on that.
Right. And with regards to the price cut that you mentioned as well, is it mainly on the back of soft input prices that we've taken price cuts? And do you think that's something which will support gross margins going ahead as well?
Yeah, it is supporting the gross margin, whatever the raw material softness was there, and
Hmm.
that's been passed on to the consumer. And this is sustainable. But as the raw material price goes up, then naturally the price cut what you have taken, we may have to restore the original price which was there in the month of
Hmm.
August. So to that extent, it is just passing on the benefit to the consumer.
Right. And overall, in terms of advertising and marketing spends, Mr. Kamath, last couple of months, people had really, cut down their marketing spends. Now, with we returning to normalcy, do you think we will see an increase? And how much are you expecting to spend in the second half of the year?
Already in the quarter gone by, we have spent 6.5% more than the previous quarter, the same time. The reason is that people are sitting at home and people are watching more TV, and to that extent, it is a good time to spend. And also, IPL has played a very prominent role in media spend for everybody. To that extent, media spend is going to be back. And we don't have to hold back on advertisement expenditure because you are getting the top line, you're seeing the growth, you're having the good gross margin, and this is the time to spend the money on advertising because people are watching your commercial. So the second half will be going back to our normal spend, and which with that spend also we'll be able to manage our EBITDA margin, what we have guided.
Right. And any new product launches that could be lined up in the second half of the year now?
Probably one or two small launches will be there because, like any other progressive company, you need to have one or two launches in every quarter. This quarter, we have launched our veggie wash. Last quarter, we have launched a sanitizer and hand wash. So you will see, like small brand extensions coming in the coming quarters also.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kama. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very much.
speaking to us. In fact, strong growth across categories that we've seen, except fabric care, and for obvious reasons, and raw material cost, which is trending lower, is something which will be supporting earnings from here on as well. But thank you, Mr. Kama. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to speak to you, and hoping to see you once again pretty soon. And stay
Yeah.
safe, and
Thank you.
have a good day as well in terms of Mysore. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.